Maplewood Avenue was a quiet street in the heart of the city, lined with brownstone buildings and trees that shed their golden leaves in the crisp autumn air. The scent of freshly baked bread wafted from the corner bakery, mingling with the faint hum of distant traffic. It was the kind of street where everyone knew everyone, and life moved at a leisurely pace. On the corner of Maplewood and Fifth, two children stood behind a small folding table, their faces lit with determination and innocence. The boy, Tommy, was 10 years old, with messy brown hair and a smudge of flour on his cheek. His best friend, Emily, was 9, with pigtails and a pink sweater that had seen better days. They were selling homemade cookies to raise money for a new swing set at their school playground. Their table was adorned with a hand-painted sign that read, "Cookies for a Cause." $1 each, and a tin box filled with chocolate chip, oatmeal raisin, and sugar cookies. Tommy's motivation was simple: he wanted to be the hero of his school. Emily, on the other hand, was more pragmatic. She loved baking and saw this as a chance to prove to her parents that she could handle responsibility. Their parents had helped them bake the cookies but had left them to manage the sale on their own, a test of their independence. As the afternoon wore on, business was slow. Only a few neighbors had stopped by, mostly out of pity. Tommy was starting to lose hope when a tall, elderly man in a long trench coat and a wide-brimmed hat approached the table. He walked with a slight limp and carried a cane, but there was an air of elegance about him. His eyes, hidden behind dark sunglasses, seemed to twinkle with curiosity. "Good afternoon, young entrepreneurs," the man said in a rich, velvety voice that carried a hint of an accent Tommy couldn't quite place. "What do we have here?" Emily, ever the charmer, smiled brightly. "We are selling cookies to raise money for our school playground. Would you like to buy some? They are really good." The man chuckled softly. "Well, how could I resist such a pitch? Let's see. I'll take 2 chocolate chip and 1 oatmeal raisin." Tommy quickly bagged the cookies, his hands trembling with excitement. "That'll be $3, sir." The man handed over a crisp $10 bill. "Keep the change. Consider it a donation to your cause." Emily's eyes widened. "Wow, thank you so much. You're really kind." The man tipped his hat. "It's my pleasure. Keep up the good work." As he walked away, Tommy and Emily exchanged excited glances. "Did you see that?" Tommy whispered. "He gave us a $7 tip." Emily nodded, but something about the man nagged at her. He looked familiar. Like someone I've seen before. Tommy shrugged. "Maybe he's just a nice old guy. Let's hope more people like him show up." That evening, as Tommy and Emily counted their earnings at Tommy's kitchen table, the TV in the living room was tuned to a classic movie channel. A film from the 1960s was playing, and the camera panned to a young, dashing actor with piercing blue eyes and a confident smirk. Emily froze. "Tommy. That's him. That's the man who bought our cookies." Tommy squinted at the screen. "No way. That's Michael Caine. He's, like, a super famous actor." Emily's jaw dropped. "We sold cookies to Michael Caine." The realization hit them both like a ton of bricks. They had just interacted with a Hollywood legend and they hadn't even recognized him. Tommy's mind raced. "Do you think he'll come back? What if he tells his famous friends about us? We could be, like, the most famous cookie sellers in the world." Emily, ever the realist, frowned. "Or maybe he was just being nice. We can't get our hopes up." The next day, Tommy and Emily decided to try their luck. They set up their cookie stand in the same spot, hoping Michael Caine would walk by again. Hours passed, and just as they were about to pack up, a sleek black car pulled up to the curb. A chauffeur stepped out and opened the back door, and out stepped the same elderly man from the day before. Tommy's heart raced. "It's him." Michael Caine approached the table with a warm smile. "Back for more cookies, I see. You two are quite the entrepreneurs." Emily, emboldened by their discovery, blurted out, "We know who you are. You're Michael Caine." He laughed, a deep, hearty sound. "Guilty as charged. I must say, you two are quite perceptive." Tommy's eyes sparkled with excitement. Can we take a selfie with you? Our friends will never believe this. Michael Caine agreed, and they snapped a few photos. As they chatted, he revealed that he was in town filming a new movie and had stumbled upon their cookie stand by chance. There's something refreshing about meeting young people with such drive and ambition, he said. It reminds me of my own childhood. Just as the conversation was winding down, a woman in a business suit approached the table. She introduced herself as Sarah, a reporter for the local newspaper. I heard Michael Caine was spotted in the area, and I couldn't believe my eyes. Mind if I asked you a few questions? Michael Caine graciously agreed, and the interview turned into an impromptu press event. By the end of the day, Tommy and Emily's cookie stand was the talk of the town. News outlets picked up the story, and donations for their school playground poured in from all over the city. But amidst the excitement, Emily couldn't shake a nagging feeling. What if all this attention is just because of him? She asked Tommy. What if people only care because a famous person was involved? Tommy thought for a moment. Maybe. But we still did something good, right? That's what matters. The story of Tommy and Emily's cookie stand went viral, and they were invited to appear on a popular morning talk show. During the interview, the host asked Michael Caine, who had joined them via video call, what he thought of the children's initiative. It's not about the cookies, he said. It's about the spirit of giving, of taking initiative. These children reminded me that sometimes the smallest acts of kindness can have the biggest impact. The segment ended with a surprise announcement. Michael Caine had pledged to match all donations to the school playground fund, ensuring that the project would be fully funded. Months later, the new playground was unveiled, and Tommy and Emily were hailed as local heroes. But for them, the real reward was the lesson they had learned, that kindness and determination could change lives, even in the smallest ways. As they sat on the new swings, watching their classmates play, Emily turned to Tommy. Do you think we'll ever see him again? Tommy smiled. Maybe. But even if we don't, we'll always have this story to tell. And so, the tale of the two children who sold cookies to Michael Caine became a legend in their community, a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary moments come from the most ordinary beginnings. Moral: true success isn't measured by fame or fortune, but by the impact we have on others. Even the smallest acts of kindness can create ripples that change the world. A year had passed since the cookie stand incident, and life on Maplewood Avenue had returned to its usual rhythm. Tommy and Emily, now a year older and wiser, were busy with school and extracurricular activities. The new playground was a hit, and the children of the neighborhood spent countless hours there, laughing and playing. One crisp autumn afternoon, as Tommy and Emily walked home from school, they noticed a familiar figure sitting on a bench near their old cookie stand. It was Michael Caine, dressed in a simple coat and scarf, enjoying the fall foliage. Mr. Caine. Tommy called out, his voice filled with excitement. Michael turned and smiled warmly. Tommy, Emily. It's wonderful to see you both. They sat down on the bench with him, catching up on the past year. Michael shared stories from his latest film and asked about their lives. As the sun began to set, he handed them a small, wrapped package. A little something to remember me by, he said with a wink. Inside the package was a signed photo of Michael Caine with a heartfelt message, to Tommy and Emily, the most inspiring entrepreneurs I've ever met. Keep dreaming big and making a difference. With love, Michael Caine. As they walked home, clutching the photo, Tommy and Emily felt a renewed sense of purpose. They knew that their journey was just beginning, and that the lessons they had learned would guide them for years to come. Final moral: life is full of unexpected encounters and opportunities. It's up to us to seize them with courage, kindness, and a willingness to make a difference. The smallest actions can lead to the most profound changes, and the people we meet along the way can leave an indelible mark on our lives. Years later, Tommy and Emily, now teenagers, decided to revisit their old cookie stand. They set up a small booth at the annual Maplewood Avenue Fall Festival, selling cookies once again, but this time to raise money for a local food bank. The community, remembering their previous success, rallied around them, and the event was a huge success. As they packed up at the end of the day, an elderly couple approached their booth. The man, with a twinkle in his eye, said, "We heard about what you did years ago, and we just had to come see for ourselves." You two are an inspiration. Tommy and Emily smiled, realizing that their story had come full circle. They had started with a simple idea, and through perseverance and kindness, they had created a legacy that continued to inspire others. The story of Tommy and Emily is a testament to the power of small actions and the impact they can have on the world. It reminds us that no matter how young or insignificant we may feel, we all have the potential to make a difference. And sometimes, the most extraordinary moments come from the most ordinary beginnings. In the weeks following the viral story, the community of Maplewood Avenue came together in an unprecedented way. Local businesses offered to match donations, and schools organized bake sales and fundraisers to support the playground project. The children's initiative had sparked a wave of generosity and community spirit that transcended the initial excitement of meeting a celebrity. Tommy and Emily found themselves at the center of this movement, attending community meetings and speaking at local events. They were no longer just two kids selling cookies, they had become symbols of hope and inspiration. Despite the overwhelming support, Tommy and Emily faced challenges along the way. Some people questioned their motives, suggesting that they were only in it for the fame. Others criticized the amount of attention they were receiving, arguing that there were more pressing issues in the community. These criticisms weighed heavily on Emily, who had always been more sensitive to public opinion. "What if they're right?" she asked Tommy one evening. "What if we are just doing this for the attention?" Tommy, ever the optimist, reassured her. "We started this because we wanted to help our school. That hasn't changed. We can't control what other people think, but we can control what we do." In the end, Tommy and Emily's perseverance paid off. The playground was completed on schedule, and the community celebrated with a grand opening ceremony. Caine, true to his word, attended the event and gave a heartfelt speech praising the children's efforts. "It's not every day that you meet young people with such drive and determination," he said. "Tommy and Emily have shown us all that no matter how small you are, you can make a big difference." As the crowd cheered, Tommy and Emily felt a sense of accomplishment that went beyond the playground. They had learned valuable lessons about resilience, kindness, and the power of community. And they knew that their journey was far from over. Years later, Tommy and Emily, now teenagers, decided to revisit their old cookie stand. They set up a small booth at the annual Maplewood Avenue Fall Festival, selling cookies once again, but this time to raise money for a local food bank. The community, remembering their previous success, rallied around them, and the event was a huge success. As they packed up at the end of the day, an elderly couple approached their booth. The man, with a twinkle in his eye, said, "We heard about what you did years ago, and we just had to come see for ourselves. You two are an inspiration." Tommy and Emily smiled, realizing that their story had come full circle. They had started with a simple idea, and through perseverance and kindness, they had created a legacy that continued to inspire others. The story of Tommy and Emily is a testament to the power of small actions and the impact they can have on the world. It reminds us that no matter how young or insignificant we may feel, we all have the potential to make a difference. And sometimes, the most extraordinary moments come from the most ordinary beginnings.